The current Justice League of America series, written and illustrated by Bryan Hitch, is one that I sort of have a love-hate relationship with. It started off really strong, but the story got really stagnant. It never felt like it was progressing anywhere. Plus, it was constantly getting delayed, which honestly should not have been a surprise. Bryan Hitch is not known for his timeliness. But I decided to stay with it, at least for the first story arc. It looked like the series was going to wrap up around issue 12, so I figured, why not just stick it out for the whole run? But it was recently announced that DC will be canceling the last remaining issues of Justice League of America, and that they were going to resolicit them at a later date. But who knows when the hell that could be? It took Bryan Hitch almost 6 months to complete the last issue of Ultimates 2, and that was a series already plagued with delays to begin with. Now, as you can see, this kind of bothers me. I've been with this series since the beginning. I feel like I deserve to at least see how it ends. But for now, I'm kind of okay with it, because for the time being, I can take this title off of my monthly pull list, and that brings the amount of titles I'm actively collecting every month to 0. Yes, folks, it's true. My monthly pull list is currently down to 0 comics a month. Now, I'm not leaving the game or anything like that. I'm just sort of taking a break. I'll still be keeping up with what's going on in the world of comics. I sort of have to. And I'll be picking up the odd book every now and then. But in terms of a collection of books I'm actively getting month to month, right now there are none. This is something I've actively been trying to do for a while. Just pare down my pull list till it gets smaller and smaller to the point where there's nothing there, so I can just sort of recalibrate and rethink how I'm doing things. So why am I doing this exactly? Well, budget for one thing. At my peak, I was spending between $40 and $60 on my monthly pull list. Now, that may not seem like a lot to some of you. In fact, I know people who spend that much money in a week on comics. But for me personally, I just need to rethink my spending habits, at least for now. I mean, I do want to eventually move out of my parents' house. The second is space. I'm running out of room for places to put my physical comics, and taking a break from a monthly pull list will sort of train me to go digital. With the exception of Rachel Rising, my monthly pull list was all physical comics. But now that I'm not getting physical comics, I can train myself to go completely digital, learn to go to Comixology first before I go to a comic book store. I mean, if I miss a comic in its first week of release, it's guaranteed to be there on Comixology the next week. Not so in my local comic shop. Now, like I said, I'm not quitting comics. I'm picking up all the Rebirth #1 specials DC's putting out, and like I said, I'll be picking up the odd book here and there if something strikes my fancy. I'm just trying to be a little bit smarter with how I spend my money and how I collect. That's all. Going back to Justice League of America for a second, this was the last comic on my pull list. It was supposed to end at either issue 12 or the annual. I honestly don't remember because the scheduling for that book's all messed up. But now that it's on hiatus, it won't feel like such a drawn-out slog for the next issue. It'll come out whenever it comes out, and in the meantime, I can get on with my life. Still mad about this, though. The story was already slow-moving to begin with, and now this just takes the pace and sends it right to the grave. I'm a strong advocate of paring down one's pull list. You don't have to go to 0, but at least go down to the bare essentials of what you need to read every month. I know people who will buy books even though they don't like them. Hell, I've done it. The need to collect or a bad case of FOMO can cause somebody to just buy and buy and buy until all they have is just a pile of bad comics. I mean, in the end, your wallet suffers, your living space suffers, and your sanity suffers. Let's be real here. If you're thinking about paring down your pull list, here's what you should do. First, take a look at every single comic you pull every month. Single out the books you're straight up not enjoying and just drop them right there. Don't waste any more of your time or your money. Next, for the titles you are enjoying but just need to take a break from, find out when their story arc ends and stop there. Usually whatever the trade collects, that's what the story arc is, and they'll announce that ahead of time. If the series is ending, like it's a mini-series or the book gets canceled, that's even better. You know exactly when it ends and you won't be afraid to miss out on what's coming next. The more you shrink your pull list down, and even getting it to 0 is a very liberating thing. It'll help you reevaluate your collecting if you think you're going a little overboard, and it'll make you appreciate what you already have that much more. Unless you're the type of person who can afford to buy, read, and store comics every month, then feel free to ignore me. That's cool too. Just know that I'm really jealous of you to be able to do that. Talk to me down below or anywhere on the internet about your monthly pull list. How many comics are you pulling a month? Have you ever gotten it down to 0? What was the most you've ever spent in a month on comics? You don't have to answer that if you're too embarrassed. I understand. New videos every Tuesday and Wednesday night. Of course, Wulff Den Line. Come join us, chat with us. If you miss it, don't worry. Archive version next day on Thursday. Also, audio format, iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play. As always, like if you like, subscribe if you really like, share this video with a friend. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Now, there are two main ways publishers deal with this to make sure that their books come out on time. First solution, get a fill-in artist. If the main artist is having trouble meeting deadlines, the publisher will get a fill-in artist to do all the rest of the work. In the end, only 12 of the original 52 launch books made it to their 52nd and final issue. And today, we're going to take a look back at those surviving launch titles and see just how different they wound up being from when they launched.